live, and let's see. Okay, it says that it's live. So let's double check everything. 7:59, so a minute ahead of schedule. That's good. And let's go see. Stream quality looks good. So, all right. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the channel. My name is Rich Charpentier. I'm the channel host. And as always, we do a lot of drone talk and autonomous flight talk, and we're going to do a little bit of that today. We're also going to try to keep this one a little shorter. I am exhausted, so I think the Arizona heat's been getting to me. And this morning I got up, walked out onto the porch, and couldn't see any of the mountains in the distance. So yesterday, apparently there was a haboob south of us here in Arizona. And for those of you who don't know what a haboob is, I actually queued something up. So large haboob dust storm yesterday, 8/16/2020. I'm going to go ahead and open this one up. So this is a totally off-topic thing. Great, we've got commercials here. Well, the commercials will stop in just a sec, I hope. Video will play after the ad. I should have queued this up. But so this morning I went outside. I couldn't see the mountains in the distance. I couldn't really see anything. I thought it was smoke from a fire. It was not smoke from a fire. Take a look at this. So that big giant dust cloud out in the distance, that's what they call a haboob. So a couple of years ago, friends of mine who moved down to Scottsdale encountered one of these. They were just getting home. They pulled into their garage, and the garage door would not close with the automatic garage door opener because the dust was so thick, it kept reopening. So they had a lot of cleaning to do. But so right now outside, the air quality here, we're kind of socked in with a lot of dust in the sky. We didn't get to see this yesterday. So this is pretty amazing stuff. And that's at stormchasingvideo.com. They've got lots of interesting things like that. But so I wanted to share that one with you. So my throat's a little dry and a little this morning, and probably because all the dirt that's in the air. So like I said, first thought, I said, oh, maybe we got a forest fire going again, but I didn't smell anything. And then I just looked online, and sure enough, there was a haboob. Also, one of my clients sent out a general email. So one of my web clients that has a RV resort in southern Arizona, they sent a notification this morning telling all the folks down there no one's using the pool for the next couple of days because it's full of dirt. So there you go. One of the weird parts of living in Arizona. So I see we got a couple of folks on, so good morning to you. And you haven't missed anything yet. Was just talking about yesterday's haboob and all of the dirt in the air here. So what are we going to be talking about today? Well, I've started doing a new set of Map Pilot tutorials, and we'll pull that up in just a couple of moments. This was a buy request from folks on my Patreon channel. So right now, these new videos are available through my Patreon account only. That's not forcing you guys into signing up to it because those will be made public in the near future. I don't know if I'm going to take Map Pilot and do it on Udemy or not because this is a shorter one, not as many features. Map Pilot does a great job for when you're doing 2D and 3D modeling, but it doesn't have the features of several of the other applications that I use out there. Good morning, Corey Clicks. How are you doing today? Long time, well, hasn't been a long time no see. I think you popped up last week too. Hope all's going well for you. And yeah, I look over to the right-hand side of my second screen regularly just to see who's on and if they've done any chats. So if I miss you, I will be looking over, I promise. Another thing that I actually spent some time on this weekend is the Explorer Prescott website. Jody's been doing a lot more with the virtual tours. She's loaded up some more images and tour areas from downtown Prescott, so that's coming along nicely. And the site's getting more visibility with very simple search engine optimization. As I've said previously here, Explorer Prescott was actually an SEO practice bed. So a friend of mine was wanting to learn more about search engine optimization. We were doing some web work together. So I launched Explorer Prescott with him so that he could get some practice in. Explorer Prescott kind of went off to the wayside as I've been working on more important items for the core business. And we've resurrected it, and it's getting some good traffic. I'm impressed in such a short amount of time with some minor changes. So one of the things I did this weekend was go through some B-roll, and in addition to the B-roll, some of the newest stuff that we've shot recently. So I'm just pulling up a screen here and moving it over for you. And let's go ahead and go through this one. So I've got some background music going on in this. Let me clip this back. And first off, whoops, I didn't mean to close it. I wanted to pause it. Hey, that's what happens when you're doing a live stream, right? There we go. So I'm going to pause this for a second. So all of the clips in here, I've kept 10 seconds or less. I've actually got a really nice audio file to go with it. And now I need to go through and put some screen titles, some labels in there so that people know what they're looking at. Prescott is a very artsy community as well, if you can't tell. So there are several mural projects that have gone on in town. And this is one of the newer ones. So that's why it's looking so fresh and so clean. Corey, too damn hot and rainy here. Yeah, I believe it, Corey. We've been hitting over 100 for the past couple of days. I think I think the heat's just wiped me out. Yesterday afternoon, I just felt like passing out on the couch. So not the best of weekends. We don't have any of the humidity. We still haven't seen real monsoons yet this season. It is way too dry here. And even with the dry heat, the past couple days going outside have just not been enjoyable. So I've been keeping the drone grounded a good bit. In the past few weeks, doing a couple of flights, I've had the iPad mini overheat. I've had the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 8 Plus overheat. And in two of those instances, I wasn't even doing drone work. I was actually just doing some simple recording on the iPhones. And even in the shade, they were dropping out. So one of the big things that I found with my iPhones, at least, I like using the OtterBox cases. I'm a big fan of those, but they add to the heat, unfortunately. So if I've been wanting to run the iPad or the iPhone longer outside, I'm having to take them out of the cases. So I don't really like doing that because the iPads get dropped, right? But when it comes to this kind of heat, anything you can do to help cool them is helpful. And I made the mistake of going out this morning, so my eyes are a little itchy. Excuse that. But all right, let's go ahead with this again. Yeah, there's a lot of dirt in the air. So this is downtown Prescott. You're looking at the St. Michael's Hotel and Whiskey Row. And then they've got Bashford Courts right around the corner. So this is a super popular tourist town. A lot of people come here to see the Courthouse Square and historic Whiskey Row. But I think what a lot of people don't realize about Prescott is how many city parks. I think they've got the most city parks for a city this size in the U.S. And so they've got the Granite Dells, Watson Lake, and Willow Lake, but they've also got baseball fields and soccer fields, tennis courts, a roller skating rink. Not kidding, outdoor roller skating rink. And right here, you've probably seen this one here before on channel, but that's Willow Lake just from the other week. So doing some flights and doing some 360s. The boat launch there, this part was actually shot a couple of years ago with a GoPro. So you see some differences in color quality. I haven't gone through and color graded yet. Then we also have the flight across the lake here, and we do have the kayakers in here. I'd actually had this lined up. So we weren't flying over the kayakers. This was part of a project for a company in town that actually rents kayaks out to visitors. So if you come up to Prescott, you can have a paddle for the day, which is a lot of fun, especially since you can paddle into some of these canyons. And actually, this is a lead-in really quick before I look at the rest of this one. Sunday, I was slightly disappointed. So number one, I never want to be accused of being drone police. I know that people get really hung up if somebody says, I'm concerned about drone flights. But I saw something this weekend that bothered me and just made me concerned. One of the great places to fly is Watson Lake, and I usually go out when there's not a lot of people, or in an instance like this, the people who are actually out paddling this early in the morning were all with the group that I was doing video of for that kayak company. Driving back from grabbing groceries on Sunday morning, I saw in the distance an RC plane over Watson Lake as I was coming back home. And I saw it in the distance, and wow, it was a really nice looking plane for sure. and it was definitely a model aircraft, and it had pontoons on it so it could land on the water, which was cool. I've never seen one of those. Well, I've seen a real plane with pontoons on it landing at a lake that I lived on as a kid. But what I had noticed, number one, Watson Lake's packed on the weekends, so I basically avoid flying there on the weekends because there's just so many people out on the lake and enjoying the park. So I try to keep most of my filming to weekdays when there's a lot less people, so I'm not disturbing anybody. But what bothered me was that really cool RC aircraft was flying super low. So over this upper gazebo area, it was pretty low. And then there's a hill coming down to the southern boat launch. And there were just tons of kayakers setting out. This RC plane was super low. I mean, super, super low. And it dropped right down toward a group of kayakers. So I pulled off just to watch really quick. There's a viewing area off of Route 89, and I was right next to it, so I pulled in. And this particular RC plane was super, super low, and I would say it was buzzing the kayakers. So hopefully the kayakers were aware, maybe they were part of something with that particular remote pilot. I don't know, but it just made me cringe a little bit. As you can see, when I'm doing these with the kayak group, I'm a good distance above, and I was actually off to the right of them. And of course, we set up for a fishing scene in here. So this is just part of the overall Explorer Prescott thing. So, like I said before I wrap that up, so I don't want to be accused of being drone police. Everyone, flies the way they fly. It bothered me just a little bit. I said that was a little bit close, but maybe that's me being overcautious. So anyways, let's continue on. So this is also at Watson Lake. Speaking of caution, he's clipping in right there. So yeah, this weekend I took some time to go through the B-roll since we're hiding out inside a lot more with the extreme heat. This is a place called Goldwater Lake. It's also a city park, and that's also a Goldwater Lake right there. I actually shot this 2 years ago and did some color grading on it because it was shot with the original Mavic Pro. I think it was in D-Log or D-Syn-like, so there is some work to be done afterward. But in general, this video is just kind of introducing those who aren't familiar with Prescott to all the different things that they can be doing in the Prescott area. So there's plenty to do. And this is not one of the city parks. This is actually a Forest Service location. This is Granite Basin, home of Granite Mountain. Some amazing rock climbing, some mountain lions in the area. So apparently there's a very dense population of mountain lions here as well. And some great hiking and mountain biking trails and equestrian trails too. And then finally we go back to downtown Prescott. So I'm still working through this. This hasn't been posted yet, but I thought I'd share a work in progress with you. So the area does have a lot to offer. And by the way, this is historic Whiskey Row. And my gallery used to be down here on Whiskey Row as well. So, all right, there we go. So there's one of the things we were doing over the weekend while hiding inside and staying out of the heat. And let's take a look here. All right, so that was Explorer Prescott. So now let's move along to the Map Pilot tutorials. So several weeks ago, I had popped up on the Patreon channel a questionnaire for folks, or a poll for folks, asking them what applications they would like to see tutorials on. And of course, the biggest response was to Ground Station Pro, and we did launch the new Ground Station Pro course just a couple weeks ago. It's in the show notes below. It has a link to it and a coupon code. So if you're interested in the Ground Station Pro class, take a look at that link. Also, in one of the previous live streams here, I made sure to link it and talk about the Ground Station Pro class as well. So if you just search on my YouTube channel for Ground Station Pro, you're gonna find that. And so right now we have 3 tutorial videos up on Patreon at the moment. So I'm just sliding this screen over here. And once again, it's another walkthrough, just like my Ground Station Pro walkthrough or the Litchi walkthrough or the construction progression walkthroughs. So we talk about the whole setup. And in this particular one, this is tutorial number 3. So in tutorials 1 and 2, we introduced MapPilot overall, and then we started talking about general settings on MapPilot. Tutorial number 3 is where we start diving in to actually setting up flights and also talking about things like what changes your flight speed, what changes the number of images you're taking, your overall flight time, and how many batteries you need. MapPilot has a lot of powerful tools and features that allow you to really develop some nice 3D models. And also, the same tools and features also let you know how long you're going to be flying, if you need to swap out your batteries. It also offers terrain-aware features. So not a lot of flight apps for 2D and 3D modeling actually offer terrain-aware. So that's one big thing several folks on the Patreon channel and on this regular YouTube channel have often asked about that. And what you're seeing on here right now, let me pause this. So I was laying out a flight. This flight will be executed for this particular tutorial series, just not right away. Given the temperatures at the moment, I don't feel like standing out in the Granite Dells with 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and also with all the reflected heat coming off of the granite rocks. So as we lay some of these out in the tutorials, you'll see how things change, like distance will change. The higher you're flying, the fewer photos you're going to be taking because you're covering more area, but you're not covering as great a detail. So there's a balance between how close and how far you are away from the ground or away from your modeling subjects in general. And in the tutorial, I actually walk through making some changes and showing how a 2-battery mission can become a 4-battery mission or a 1-battery mission, all depending on how high you're flying, how much overlap you have, and what kind of flight paths you're doing. So this one is just a north-south pass. As I move along in that tutorial, we add a full grid mission where it's going to do north, south, and east and west as well. And let me just pause that there, and I want to double check that that this screen's not overlapping too much, so it's not. What you guys are seeing is the actual tutorial and then an image of the video of me overlaid on top of a video of me. Hope that's not too distracting. Let me just take a look back over, make sure I haven't missed anybody popping into the channel. All right, I haven't. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing this MapPilot tutorial as soon as possible, I would suggest popping over to my Patreon channel. So let me turn that on down here in the lower right-hand corner. It's patreon.com/Rich Charpentier. So right there, www.patreon.com/Rich Charpentier. And now with that, I'm going to turn that off because I don't want you to feel like I'm pitching you all the time. I'm really not. On YouTube, eventually, you will most likely be seeing this tutorial series as well. And that's also going to depend on the feedback from my patrons over on Patreon. I actually seek out feedback from them and also get a gut feel as to whether or not a course like this is worthwhile to folks, and love getting that kind of feedback. So thanks to everyone on the Patreon channel. All right, let's take a look here and see what is our other... Oh yeah, so this one I definitely wanted to talk about a bit. So I've been corresponding with a lot of folks lately from YouTube, from Patreon, and from Udemy. And thanks to everyone who's getting in touch with your suggestions and ideas. And a lot of you have been sending me links to your own sites, links to your own channels, so your own websites or your own YouTube channels. And a lot of you are doing some pretty cool stuff. And with that in mind, I would like to start featuring somebody's website or channel each week. So when we do the weekly live stream, I would like to start showing off subscriber sites, patron sites, Udemy student sites. Whoever you are, you're probably catching this live stream just on regular YouTube. So down in the comments, let me know if you'd be interested. Also, if you'd like, you can email me at azdrone.net. I've got a contact form there. But if you'd like us to pop up your website, talk about your channel, maybe even do a live stream, live audio video interview together so that folks who are coming to this channel can learn more about what other people are doing with their drone businesses. I know we're a very niche market on this channel, and I'm pretty confident that more than 90% of you coming here are interested in construction progression reporting, 3D modeling. Maybe you're interested in agriculture flights. Maybe you're interested in some of the new autonomous flight apps that go along with DJI drones. And with that in mind, you might have some very interesting and unique perspectives on your small and medium drone businesses. So I'd really like to start featuring some subscribers. So, and also, if you're a fan of other channels and other channels who are doing similar things, you can pass along their information. I'll be happy to get in touch with them because I'd really like to start hearing other people's stories, because I'm hearing some great stories on private comments and on Udemy student feedback and in email. But I haven't been posting anybody's because I want your permission first, because maybe you don't want your website showed off. And, you know, several of you have sent along some pretty good stuff that I think is worth sharing with the rest of the community. So with that in mind, you can pop it down in the comments, send me a private message through AZ Drone. If you're one of the Udemy students, send a private message through Udemy. However you prefer to get in touch, please feel free to get in touch. I need a sip here really quick, and I think I'm going to be wrapping this one up really shortly. Like I said, I've been wiped out over the weekend. There we go. My apologies for that, everyone. Like I said, there's also just tons of dust in the air from yesterday's Haboob, even though we weren't in the path of it. And with that in mind, I think I am going to cut this one really short. My apologies. I didn't even get the announcement up till this morning. And I didn't want to not do a live stream today because we've been consistently doing them every Monday for several months now, so I'm proud of the track record. And just sorry that this one is so short. So once again, the big rundown. If you want to see some of the stuff that Jody's been working on, head over to exploreprescott.org. You'll see some virtual tours there. You'll see some videos there. You'll see some new content going up. Every week she's adding new things to it. If you're interested in the Map Pilot tutorials, you can head over to that Patreon channel that I mentioned before, and you can sign up there and start watching those. Right now, there's about an hour of content. So tutorials 1 and 2 were about 15 minutes long each. Tutorial 3 was closer to 30 minutes. And I do have several more already in the hopper. I just need to do some more editing. And then finally, once again, if you or someone you like on YouTube or their drone websites, pass along their links. I'll get in touch with them, and we'll see if we can't have a couple of actual conversations, maybe do some Zoom meeting setups and have a little fun. All right, everyone, have a great start to the week. I think I'm going to go find a pillow and curl back up for a few. We'll see you again next week. If I do have anything new midweek, I'll pop it up here, and maybe we can make up for the super short live stream. Oh, let me take a look over, and yeah, Corey, got an upcoming RV park. All right, Corey, that sounds awesome. Absolutely, we can talk about it offline. So Corey, give me a ring. And like I said, one of my clients sent out stuff about yesterday's Haboob, and they're an RV resort, so I'd love to chat with you about it. So I'll watch for your email. Matt, sometimes you just need a week off. That's how I've been feeling. I kind of want to take a vacation. I wish we could hook up the Airstream and head up to Cortez, Colorado, and go to Mesa Verde. But you know, we're playing it real cautious with the whole pandemic thing, and yeah. But I need a trip and a nap. All right, everyone. We'll see you again in the near future. And like I said, keep those comments coming. Drop the emails, and I'll be looking forward to showcasing some of the subscribers here in the very near future. And so I hope I get some good response on that. All right, we'll see y'all later. And I'm gonna go back to bed or something.